and dance. Well, the idea of having this session here during the Kalinga Literary Festival came when one day, talking with Sadasiva Babu, he asked me, is it possible to compose dance on a modern poetry? So that question started to trigger in my mind. And I said, of course, we are always using classical poetry, where at that time the poets were themselves musicians. So they were actually writing poems which were with a certain rhythm, certain chanda, and they were also attributing certain raga, certain music. So they themselves knew about music. Now, modern poetry doesn't have that rhyme, that chanda, that rhythm. It's a free verse. So is it possible to put it into music, into rhythm, and transform it into dance? That was the question. So I took this chance, and I selected one poem from our distinguished poet Ramakanta Rath, Sri Radha. It's a collection of poems on Radha, which is what the advantage of this was that it was written in Oriya and translated in English by the poet himself. And that gave me the inspiration to select one of these poems, because I don't have anything against translators in general, because they're very useful for universalizing the language. But when the same author is also translating, I feel more confident. And so in this version which you are going to present, I have utilized the English version as a recitation, dramatized it, and the Oriya, some of the stanza in Oriya, putting into music. So the subject is again Radha, but in a contemporary way. It's still Radha and Krishna, but this is the modern poet who interpret Krishna in a more psychological way, more than mythological. Although all the elements are there, but in this particular poem, Radha is imagining a journey on a boat. And during this journey, she says, I lost myself at a certain point. I traveled with Krishna. We were only both of us on the boat. And in the beginning, I was seeing the river, I was seeing the houses, the groves. Then everything disappeared, and I saw only him. And then he touched my youth, and I totally lost myself, and I just cling to him. And in this unity which I experienced, I went through all my past life and deaths. And I came out and I was feeling exhausted by it. But he was there as a support, but at a certain point, he also disappeared, and I realized that he didn't have any form anymore. And so to whom at that point I could have asked if I was alive or not, if that was real or it was fruit of my imagination. Is he really existing, or is my voice is just an echo, which is just rebounding in the nature? And when the journey on the boat ended, and I came out of it, I went back to my routine, to my samsara, to everyday routine. And I was there on the bank of that river, where every day the people are boating, they are making their work. And so this is like all of us which want to, for a moment, get out of our ego and our personality and merge with the universe, with this experience, this union. But it is only a fraction of a second. And again, we come back to the reality. So it's this, the Krishna which the poet has interpreted. So what what the dance language can add to the poetry language. Dance is regarded as a visualization of poetry movement, but it's just a straight interpretation or it is enriching the poetry. So how these two, poetry and dance, dialogue between themselves. And so this is what I'm going to talk after this, when I will present a classical poetry. So now let's see this experiment which I'm doing with this modern poetry by Ramakant Ratha from Sri Radha.
Hello. Hello. In a boat. He called me and smiled. The moment I stepped into the boat, he rowed it away. I do not know if the boat reached the sky sands or the peninsula, where every moment renews the soul's curiosity. For some time I saw the river banks, roofs, and houses. Later, all this disappeared, and I only saw him in an array of colors. I saw nothing else, not even the river, not even the boat. The sky became invisible, and I didn't know if the sun, the moon, and the stars existed. Him alone I saw wherever I turned. I saw him and nothing else. Unknown to me, the whole succession of my births and deaths had dissolved. He didn't listen to me and touched my youth that was unaware of itself. All this pain stays ever after me, and I swiftly emerged from the labors of my whole life. In a moment, I entered the darkness, where nothing, neither name nor time existed. All I saw the world that proceeds and succeeds the shape of things. I then crossed epochs and arrived where instead of ships, there is the mind. That is like an ocean without source or without a way. Sani sare ga sa ga re, sa ga re sani da pa ni da pa ma pa ga, ga ma sa ga ma pa ga ma, pa da ni pa da ma pa da re, sa re ga ma pa. ସବୁ ମନେ ପଡ଼ିଲା ମୋ ବାରମ୍ବାର ଯିବା ଆସିବାର, ସବୁ ମନେ ପଡ଼ିଲା ମୋ ବାରମ୍ବାର ଯିବା ଆସିବାର, କ୍ଳାନ୍ତରେ କ୍ଳାନ୍ତରେ ଆଉଜି ଗଲି ସାଙ୍ଗ ଛାତିରେ, ସାଙ୍ଗ ଛାତିରେ, କିଏ ପିତା କିଏ ସ୍ୱାମୀ କିଏ କଣ ସାଙ୍ଗ ଭଳି ଖାଲି ସାଙ୍ଗ ସାଥେ ଲୁଗା କିନାରାରେ, ଯାହା ଯାହା ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ସବୁ କଣ ଖାଲି, ଯାହା ଯାହା ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ସବୁ କଣ ଖାଲି, ପ୍ରତିଧ୍ୱନି 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 କିମ୍ବା ପକ୍ଷୀଙ୍କର ଜଳରବ, କିମ୍ବା ପ୍ରତିଧ୍ୱନି ମୋ ଚାରଣ, ସେ ନଥିଲେ ପୂର୍ବ ପରେ ବହୁ ସଂଖ୍ୟକ ଆକୁତି ଭିତରେ ଆକୁତି ଭାବରେ, ସେ ନଥିଲେ ପୂର୍ବ ପରେ ବହୁ ସଂଖ୍ୟକ ଆକୁତି ଭିତରେ ଆକୁତି Mori sarili, Mori sarili. Then after some time, the boat stopped and I stepped out of it. I felt a lifeless body travel a long way back to home. Ancient cycles had tired my feet, and my circumscribed expeditions always ended at the river, unclean, unchanging place where people moved their boats.
So this was the modern poetry. I hope the English was audible. It was not so much. So what I was mentioning before is it's okay. What I was mentioning before is how the dance can, add the dance to the poetry, to the language of the poetry, the language of the dance. So how much it is enriching. So the poetry is suggestive. So there is where a lot of scope is there to expand the meaning, which is there as a seed inside the words of the poetry. So this expansion is where the creativity of the dancer and creativity of the choreographer can develop and can exercise. And so, as I was mentioning, the classical poetry is more suitable to put it into music because it is already been written for that purpose. So what we usually use in Odissi, apart from Oriya poetry of medieval or Sanskrit poetry, and of course Gita Govinda is one source from where, can you keep quiet please? The Gita Govinda is one source which is always there, is almost synonymous with Odissi dance. So I have, for example, let me see how the suggestions which are there in the verse, in the intention of the poet, we can develop, we can enrich that, we can expand that, so that the language of the poetry is maybe more, it's not only a visualization of the verse, but is a universalization also, and also an enrichment to the poetry. I'll give you an example of one of the Ashtapadi, Saki he ke simatana mudaram. Here, there are two, so Radha is talking to the friend. And she says, it is like two friends which are talking each other. And Radha is again imagining when she went to meet secretly in the night, she went to meet Krishna, and how he touched her and his the kind of feeling and the kind of sensation which she had, and then how her ornaments rang and started to vibrate, and how his cheeks touch her body and so all this, it is her imagination. But this, especially in one of this verse, which is when she says, I went secretly in the night to meet Krishna. So here the verse is very simple, and it says, Ni bruto nikunja gruham gatayanesi, rahasi niliya vasantam. So secretly in the night, I went where he was alone in his hut, and I to meet him. So this is what the line says. So how we can visualize that it is secretly in the night. So all the whatever she has to overcome to reach him. And so here is where the dance can expand, can enlarge the meaning of the song. So in this case, for example, one can show that she has to go out of a house, and first she had to check if everybody was sleeping in the house. Then she has to remove her gungur. Then she has to switch off the lamp, because otherwise in the night somebody can see her. She has to choose a certain sari which is not too bright, because otherwise she can be seen and then it is in the jungle. So what in the night, what type of, suddenly she may feel like somebody is seeing her, so she has to hide herself. Then one shadow is there, so she thinks that it may be a snake. Then her sari may be caught into the thorns of some thorns can prelude her sari. So all these things are not there in the song, in the verse, but are suggested by the fact that it is night, secretly, and this has to happen without that anybody sees her. And so this is where the dance is adding to the poetry. So we have many examples like this, and this is where actually each choreography is different from the other, although if they are based on the same text. So this is how we are going to show now one of the Ashtapadi, and you will see how all these different action, while the music is playing and the same line is repeated, how the dancer is expanding the meaning of the poetry. But again, when we expand, we have always to remain in a certain context. We cannot go out of the context of that particular time, and we are dealing with a particular cultural context where Radha Krishna, where a certain communication were happening in a certain way. So the birds are there, so it is not done in a modern setup. So this has to be kept in mind. And for that, other literature can help. Like, for example, in another Ashtapadi, when Krishna comes very late in the early morning to Radha, and she says, Yahi Madhava, Yahi Kesava, Mahabada Kaitava Badam, go away Kesava, I don't want to hear your lies. So in the Ashtapadi, Jayadev, he doesn't say what type of lies Krishna is saying. But in the choreography, we can put those reaction of Krishna by taking inspiration from other literature, which is written by poets regarding Radha Krishna. So there is a context, a literary context, from where we can take inspiration to enrich each choreography. So this is where dance and poetry are playing together, and we continuously deal with poetry, and so this is where the two are connecting between each other. So now, Saki hai kisi matana mudaram, oh friend, go and bring Krishna to make love to me, because I am mad of passion for him. And then she starts to say, this is what happened when I went there, and then we met the first time, and he kissed me, and then, so it is like two one friend telling to another friend what has happened. And it is in her imagination, but she's totally engrossed in it. So this is Saki He Kesi Matana Mudaram, the sixth song from the Gita Govinda. The violent to Besi Achi. This is sound actually, the violent is sound. The audience, yeah, we. Any question, or we just finish here? Yeah, you have. Thank you. Yes.
You are performing with Jayadeva, but also do you also perform with some contemporary Odia poems? And even when you are performing Jayadeva, in that performance, are you bringing some contemporary dimensions to it? For example, like the secret meeting. So are you thinking of an Odissi like a contemporary?
Many ways, it will always be in a classical way. Then if I want to have more contemporary interpretation, then I would go for a contemporary poem, like we used the Ramakantarata poem, which is again Radha Krishna, but they are, I hope the difference could be relevant between the two. So one can, it is a language, dance is a language, so we can really interpret any text. It depends from our choice. So we have the possibility to talk, and sometimes I feel that it's more easy to understand sometimes the language of the dance than the language of the one which is sang. So I feel that it's more universal. So even people who may not know Oriya or Sanskrit or whatever language is being sang, they can follow the meaning through the language of the dance. So this is where the advantage of dance is there, which is beyond language and beyond borders and beyond. So I can interpret this Oriya song in Italy or anywhere, and my language will be understood, hopefully, if I am good. Yeah. Somebody, yeah.
We believe that Lord Krishna and Goddess Radha had a pretty much spiritual and soulful and an eternal connection with each other. So while performing, not just here as solo or even in a group, like how do you go about telling your dancers, like not everyone is so much into the spirituality or soulfulness and all that. So it's slightly maybe unrelated question, but I just definitely got a chance to ask you, so I'm asking. So how do you go about telling your dancers that you are teaching or students, or even you as a dancer or performer, how do you go about pursuing this and then presenting this?
Sorry, repeat the last one.
Presenting this.
Present times.
Presenting this, showing it to the audience.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, this soulful, eternal connection they have, how do you, which is very spiritual in nature. So how do you go about telling your dancers or you as a performer, presenting it? How deeply you understand it? How deeply you go about thinking about it?
See, I think that these two things which I presented are quite interesting, because one is, the second one, it goes more near to the spiritual, and the first one is psychological. So I think for me, the psychological is prominent. But for people who are more tendency to be spiritual in nature, it will be more spiritual. So for my guru, for sure, Radha Krishna were actually Radha Krishna to be worshipped beside being dance. For me, it's a dance is what I worship, and Radha and Krishna are a vehicle of my emotion. So I can express myself through the story of Radha Krishna or through other story. So for me, it's more psychological, and for somebody else is more spiritual. So it depends from your nature and your tendency and your attitude and your beliefs. And but this, when I explain to my student, I explain that the meaning of the poem as it is, and then I also explain the context. The context, if it is Jayadev, of course, it's Jayadev, which was there in the 12th century, and it was dedicated to Lord Jagannath. Then I explain what it was Jagannath. But then again, from there, one is interpreting the way your nature nature leads you. So I don't necessarily do puja to Jagannath. But for me, Jagannath is everywhere. It depends from your own thing. So what your nature needs. So that spiritual is there. All the Ashtapadi of my guru were ending with the symbol of Jagannath and the conch and the lotus. And so for him, it was that if I compose something, I may rely more on the expression, emotional things, and a sort of catharsis which you get through expressing this emotion. So this is what I
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. To say that we were bewitched is, I think, like, I don't think there are words enough. I felt emotional while watching you dance with all of those beautiful expressions and emotions. Um, I really don't have words to explain what I felt while experiencing her performance, and I think it's the same with everyone else over here. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, ma'am, for
Thank
honoring
you so
our
much.
stage by being here.
Thank you.
Ma'am, please stay on stage. We have a small felicitation for you, Miss Prachi.
Come, you please come. Yeah. She's Sangeeta Panda, Amit Das, Amit Das, and Surendra Maharana. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this wonderful performance, for this wonderful experience that you've given us. We have a small gift from Kalinga Literary Festival 2023 family. I sincerely thank you from the deepest parts of my heart, at least. Thank you for being here, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. Maybe please have a huge round of applause. I think we are all experiencing so much while we saw her performance. So thank you so much. Thank you. And as we conclude this, we have one other little thing left, which is a screening of this movie, Monarch of the Blue Mountain, a documentary that explores Sri Jagannath consciousness in India and beyond. The film's director, Dr. Piyush Roy, will be here in conversation with Dr. Pushkarni Panchmukhi, RV University, and senior journalist and author Priyanka Sinha Jha. If our panelists are still here, I'd request them to please come and have a quick word before we sign off. And you've all been a wonderful audience. I'm really, really grateful to have you all here. Thanks for being so patient with me and with all the sessions that have been going on since morning. Thank you so much. I'd request if our guests and the panelists are over here. Sorry. Okay, so we'll just screen the movie. I hope you stay here to watch. Thank you so much and have a great evening. See you tomorrow. We also have other parallel sessions going on tomorrow and the day after as well. So please come by, please attend these sessions. We have a lineup of some great authors. And apart from that, if you're posting anything on social media, please tag Kalinga Literary Festival. Thank you.
His body is represents all the nationalities and all the cultures of the world.
He is the head of our state and he is the head of the entire universe. He is beyond time, beyond space, beyond state, beyond country, beyond continent, whatever things. And he is to be realized. The whole is there, the whole is here, and if you take out the whole from the whole also, the whole only remains. So he is that whole. I have considered him as another man to whom we have loved. If we say anything, he'll listen. And once he listens, he will do it.
जो परमात्मा है, जो ईश्वर है, जो ब्रह्म है, वही भगवान जगन्नाथ है।
ଶ୍ରୀମନ୍ଦିର ପରମ୍ପରା ଏକ ମୁକ୍ତ ପରମ୍ପରା। ଆପଣ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ସମସ୍ତେ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ଆସିଲେ ବୌଦ୍ଧ ମାନେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଆମର, ଜୈନ ମାନେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଆମର, ଶୈବ ମାନେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଆମର, ମହିଳାମାନେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଆମର। Reflection of what's happening in the spiritual world. The Lord never does anything ordinary. It's always extraordinary. So the Lord appearing in the form of Jagannath, extraordinary. And that love he's giving for everybody, that's also extraordinary. You will not find that anywhere. ଆମେ ଯୋଉ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କର ସେବାର୍ଚ୍ଚନା କରୁଛେ ସେ କଳିଯୁଗର ପ୍ରତ୍ୟକ୍ଷ ଠାକୁର, ସେ ଦାରୁ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ, ସେ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ସ୍ୱରୂପ। ଆପଣ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ସେଠି ମୂର୍ତ୍ତି ନାହିଁ, କେବଳ ପ୍ରଣବ ଓମ୍। ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କର ମୁଖାର ବିନ୍ଦୁକୁ ଆପଣମାନେ ଅବଲୋକନ କରନ୍ତୁ, ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ କେବଳ ମୁଖାର ବିନ୍ଦୁ ଓମ୍। ଓମ୍ ଶବ୍ଦଟା ଦୁଇଟି ଆଖି, ତଳେ ଗୋଟେ ପାଟି, ଉପରେ ହରିମନ୍ଦିର ଥିବ। ଏଇ ଓମ୍ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ କୁହାଗଲା ଯୋ ଦାରୁ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ମୂର୍ତ୍ତି ପ୍ରଣବତରୁ ଧରମ୍ ସର୍ବ ବେଦାନ୍ତ ସାର ଶୈବାନାଂ ଭୈରବୋହଂ ସତତ ସୁବିଦିତମ୍ ଶାକ୍ତ ତତ୍ତ୍ୱେ ଶକ୍ତି ବୋଧାନାଂ ବୁଦ୍ଧ ମୂର୍ତ୍ତିରୁ ସଭମୁନି ବରౌ ଜୈନ ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତ ସାରେ ସ୍ୱୟଂ ନୀଳତ୍ରିନାଥ ଭବଭୟ ହରଣେ ମାଧବ ପାତୁ ନିତ୍ୟମ୍।
Puri is just another seaside town which happens to have Jagannath temple. But when you enter into the Jagannath temple, when you go near the temple and the pataka, the bana we call, which is visible from quite a distance, when you see that bana, then something happens within you.
I was fascinated by in fact it was love at first sight, with the people, the places, the food, the literature, the music, the dance. But what kind of mesmerized me the most was the Jagannath culture. I started reading a little bit, not about the rituals, but about the tales, the anecdotes associated with Jagannath culture. I talked to a few people, and then I realized that Jagannath culture is not a religious belief. It's a way of life. It is a kind of ethos or a kind of a consciousness, I should say, which is beyond time and space. His appeal, I find, is eternal, endearing, and enduring. In Odisha, we find that the old values or the eternal values of devotion, religion, and spirituality still continue because of the predominant position given to Lord Jagannath in the society as a whole. Lord Jagannath is the head of our family, and he is the head of our state, and he is the head of the entire universe. So for the Odia, he is everything. He is central to the personal life, the family life, the social life. So this is very deeply embedded. And therefore, when we watch the Rath Yatra, for instance, all these emotions can be seen. However, what is important here is this, that this relationship between the devotee and the Lord has to be based on a spiritual foundation. It should not be just blind belief or superstition. That is not our religion, or not any religion at all, anywhere in the world.
I didn't become a Hindus, or I didn't perform rituals on my own, but my rituals was the dance, which I was, through the dance I was imbibing all this. So without the medium of the dance, no experience would have been for me here in Orissa. And being here in Orissa, everything actually is evolving around him. I think this is the real richness of this state. And it may be poor in other things, but this is the real richness which he has. So the fact that there is a pole, a center which towards which everybody is going, and it attracts and keeps all the rest together. So the entire culture, entire society, the entire social environment, the beliefs, the attitudes, the rituals, everything goes back to one point, which is Jagannath. When I dance, I don't have to have in mind all Jagannath every time, but he's there. I mean, and the fact that I don't even realize how many of his portraits are there with his big eyes and looking everywhere and from each corner. Orissa is like
This connect with music and literature is not very unique to Jagannath. And dance, if you look at Bharatnatyam, you look at even Kathakali, they all emerged from temple, and there has been a very strong connect of dance forms, especially the classical dance forms, with religion and god and goddesses. But in this case, Odissa's earlier form, Gotipuo emerged, and then Odissi emerged, and yes, Jagannath has been a very dance-loving, fun-loving, aesthetics-loving God.
ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ମାନଙ୍କ ରକ୍ତରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ବୋଧେ ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଚଳଚ୍ଚିତ୍ରକୁ ଯେତିକି ପ୍ରାଧାନ୍ୟ ଦିଆଯାଇଛି, ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ନାମକୁ ଯେତିକି ପ୍ରାଧାନ୍ୟ ଦିଆଯାଇଛି, ତାହା ଯେକୌଣସି କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ ହଉ ନା କାହିଁକି ପରିଣତ ହେବାରେ ତ ଆପଣ ଆଶ୍ଚର୍ଯ୍ୟ ହେବେ ଯେ ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଚଳଚ୍ଚିତ୍ର ସେ କାହାଣୀକୁ ନେଇ 4ଟି ସିନେମା ହେଇଛି। ପ୍ରଥମତଃ ଲଳିତା, ତାପରେ ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ, ତାପରେ ନୀଳମାଧବ ଏବଂ ତାପରେ ନୂଆ ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ। ଏଇ ପୌରାଣିକ ଚଳଚ୍ଚିତ୍ରକୁ ବାଦ ଦେଲେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କ ନାଁକୁ ନେଇ ବହୁତ ସିନେମା ହେଇଛି ଏବଂ ସେ ଟ୍ରେନ୍ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଲା 1980 ମସିହାରେ ଜଗା ବଳିଆ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଲା। ଜଗା ଏବଂ ବଳିଆ ଥିଲେ ସବୁ ବିପଦ କଟି ଯାଇପାରେ ଏବଂ ଜଗା ବଳିଆ ଥିଲେ କାଳିଆ ବଂଶା ବି ହେଇପାରନ୍ତି। ତାହା ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଚଳଚ୍ଚିତ୍ର ବି କରାଗଲା କି ଆସୁଚିର କାଳିଆ ସୁନା ଭଳିଆ ଚଳଚ୍ଚିତ୍ର କରାଗଲା, ପୁଅ ମୋର ପାର୍ବତର ଭଳି ଚଳଚ୍ଚିତ୍ର କରାଗଲା। ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କୁ ପୁଅ ଭାବରେ ଦେଖନ୍ତି, ପ୍ରେମିକ ଭାବରେ ଦେଖନ୍ତି, ପ୍ରଭୁ ଭାବରେ ଦେଖନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଆବେଗ, ସେ ଯୋଉ ଇମୋସନ ତାକୁ ନେଇକି ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମାରେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଭାବରେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଢଙ୍ଗରେ ସାମାଜିକ କାହାଣୀ ତିଆରି କରାଗଲା। ଅସମ୍ଭବ ଢଙ୍ଗରେ କାହାଣୀ ସବୁ ସଫଳ ହେଲା। ତାହାର ପ୍ରଥମ ନାମ ଯେ ଜଗା ବଳିଆ। এই চলচ্চিତ୍ର ସଫଳ ହେଇଗଲା ପରେ ତାପରେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କୁ ନେଇକି ବହୁତ ଖେଳ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଇଗଲା ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମାରେ ଏବଂ ଧୀରେ 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 ପୌରାଣିକ କାହାଣୀକୁ ସାମାଜିକ କାହାଣୀକୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ରୂପାନ୍ତରିତ ହେଲେ ସେତେବେଳେ ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ନାରୀ ନକ୍ଷତ୍ରକୁ ପରଠୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ ଜାଣିଲେ ଯେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମାର ସ୍ଥିତି ନାହିଁ, ସାମାଜିକ କାହାଣୀ ହଉ ବା ପାରିବାରିକ କାହାଣୀ ହଉ। ଏପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଏମିତି କୌଣସି ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମା ନାହିଁ ଯୋଉ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମାରେ ଅନ୍ତତଃ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କ ଛବିରେ every Odia who goes there, he gets some tulsi, the patta, because they think it is, if we take it, we will have also 16 colors with us. So he is a great actor, he is a great singer, he is a great dancer. He knows about everything that is there, what are you seeing in Odisha. And you can better see him in rural Odisha.
ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଭାଇମାନଙ୍କ ଜୀବନରେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ କଣ? ମୁଁ କହିବି ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ହିଁ ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ଜୀବନ। ଜୀବନରେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କର ଭୂମିକା ନୁହେଁ, ଜୀବନ ହିଁ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ। ଯାହା ଜୀବନରେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ନାହିଁ ତାର ଜୀବନ ନାହିଁ।
Every time when he comes back from Rath Yatra, there is golden vessel, Suna vessel, and more than 10 lakh people come there to see how Jagannath looks in so much of gold. That is fun. He loves to, I mean, whether he loves or we love him to see like that is a matter to discuss, but it is being said that he likes that. So, change of this, according to the tithis and dates and time is very, very
Jagannath, as he is known today, he is associated as a form of Krishna of the Vaishnava cult. So the Vaishnavas or the Vishnu worshipping Hindus in Odisha see Jagannath as a form of Krishna. But historically, this image has been associated by all the religious people in Odisha, and they all have seen different things in Jagannath. So the Buddhists have seen him differently, the Shaivais have seen it differently, the Shakta cult sees it differently. So for the Shakta cult, Jagannath would be a form of Kali. So there's a big, strong thing in the east of India of Krishna and Kali being two forms of each other. The Jains would see it in a particular way. So over the centuries, the deity has been identified in different ways, but it is primarily, as of today and for the last 500 years, the image of Krishna, a local image of Krishna in Odisha, and known as Jagannath.
many people has told many things. Christians tell this is our God. Buddhists tell this is our God. Shaktas tell this is our God. Ganapatyas said this is our God. So he is the Lord of the universe. There are very interesting stories on that. Some people discuss Balabhadra as Ugratara, Subhadra as Bhuvneshwari, Jagannath is Dakshinakali.
ସେ କଳିଯୁଗର ଠାକୁର ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରକାର ମାନେ କହିଲେ ସତ୍ୟ ନାରାୟଣ ନାମ ସତ୍ୟ ଯୁଗର ଠାକୁର ହଉଛନ୍ତି ଭଗବାନ ନାରାୟଣ ତ୍ରେତୟା ରଘୁନନ୍ଦନ ତ୍ରେତୟା ଯୁଗର ଠାକୁର ହଉଛନ୍ତି ଶ୍ରୀରାମ ଦ୍ୱାପରରେ କୃଷ୍ଣଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ଦ୍ୱାପର ଯୁଗର ଠାକୁର ହଉଛନ୍ତି କୃଷ୍ଣ କଳଶ୍ରୀ ପୁରୁଷୋତ୍ତମ କଳିଯୁଗର ଠାକୁର ହଉଛନ୍ତି ମହାପ୍ରଭୁ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ।
सनातन वैदिक धर्म में एक है ईश्वरवाद और दूसरा है देवतावाद। तो जगन्नाथ स्वामी ईश्वर है, देवता नहीं। देवता अनेक होते हैं और ईश्वर एक होता है। और ईश्वर का लक्षण है जन्माद्यस्यतः, जिससे ये सारा जगत उत्पन्न होता है, जिसमें स्थिर रहता है और अंततः जिसमें लय हो जाता है, उसको बोलते हैं ईश्वर। और वह ईश्वर है कैसा? तो वो सत है, चित है और आनंद स्वरूप है। तो ईश्वर का मूल जो स्वरूप है वो है सत, चित और आनंद। सत माने होता है अविनाशी, चित माने होता है जानने वाली ज्ञान स्वरूप सत्ता, और आनंद माने होता है जो सभी को प्रिय लगे, अनंत इत्यर्थ। तो भगवान जगन्नाथ का जो मूल स्वरूप है वो सच्चिदानंद है और उसको वेदों में बोलते हैं ब्रह्म। बृहत्वात् ब्रह्म, बृहत् धातु है, उससे बनता है ब्रह्म शब्द। बृहत्वात् ब्रह्म, जो सबसे बड़ा है, अर्थात जो देश से बड़ा है, जो काल से बड़ा है और जो सबके पहले और सबसे बड़ा है, उसको बोलते हैं सच्चिदानंद। और वह है भगवान जगन्नाथ। उन्हीं का दूसरा नाम ब्रह्म है। वही ब्रह्म इस जगत को अपनी त्रिगुणात्मिका माया को आधार लेकर के, साथ में लेकर के तो जगत बनाता है, उसको स्थिर करता है और अंत में उसको लय कर लेता है। तो जो परमात्मा है, जो ईश्वर है, जो ब्रह्म है, वही भगवान जगन्नाथ है।
Lord Jagannath, since he is the all-in-all of the entire universe, in a word, the entire cosmic manifestation is the Kalina of Lord Jagannath, is the body of Lord Jagannath. But when we go for worship, when we go for ritual, we need some symbolic expression before us. So that symbolic expression is condensed within the existing icon of Sri Jagannath. And you can see the uniqueness of the iconography of Lord Jagannath is two eyes. So it may be explained in multiple ways from the point of art, from the point of other disciplines. But so far from the point of theology and philosophy, the eyes of Lord Jagannath, it is an eternal vigilance on the creation.
आदिम आदिवासी सबलମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ରଥମେ ବୃକ୍ଷ ପୂଜା କରୁଥିଲେ ବୃକ୍ଷର ଅଭାବ ବୃକ୍ଷର ଗଣ୍ଡି ଖମ୍ବ ଉପରେ ପୂଜା କରିବାକୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଇଂରେଜୀରେ ଖମ୍ବ ବର୍ଷିପ ବା ଲ ବର୍ଷିପ ବା ପିଲର ବର୍ଷିପ ବୋଲି କହୁଛୁ ଧର୍ମ ଜଗତରେ ଦୁଇ ପ୍ରକାର ଉପାସନା ଦେଖିବାକୁ ମିଳେ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ସାକାର ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ନିରାକାର ନିରାକାର ଉପାସନା ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଧର୍ମୀ ଏବଂ ଆବହମାନଙ୍କରୁ ସେ ଆଦିମ ଅଧିବାସୀ ମାନେ ଶବରମାନେ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ କନ୍ଧମାନେ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ ଗଣ୍ଡମାନେ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ ମୁଣ୍ଡାମାନେ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ ଦ୍ରାବିଡ଼ମାନେ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଯୋଉମାନେ ଓଡ଼ିଶାକୁ ଆସିଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ଅତି ପ୍ରାଚୀନ କାଳରେ ପ୍ରାଚୀନ ସଭ୍ୟତାରେ ବୃକ୍ଷ ପୂଜାରୁ ଖମ୍ବ ପୂଜାରୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଦାରୁ ଉପାସନାରେ ରୂପାନ୍ତରିତ ହେଇଛି ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଖମ୍ବ ପୂଜାର ପରମ୍ପରା ଏବେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଅଞ୍ଚଳରେ ଦେଖିବାକୁ
If you look at most traditional temples, they worship the deities imposed upon an amorphous rock, or a protrusion of a rock, or a protrusion of a tree. So this is quite common across India. It's here because it's a classical temple. You expect a classical anthropomorphic image. But if you go to a Lingaraj temple, Joshua temple, it's basically a protrusion of a rock around which a grand temple was built. So these were clearly old images associated with tribal communities, wooden deities, within which serve as containers of something else. So as you know that within Jagannath there is an object which is not really an object but the symbol of the soul. So what you're seeing is an encasing, a box, and inside it is what is considered the soul.
He is a living God. Now, just imagine, could you have a God like this who gets up in the morning, brushes his teeth, or his ablutions he undergoes, and then he has breakfast, he has lunch, he has a siesta. In the evening, he is entertained by music, dance. He falls ill, to have some kind of a reconciliation with her. So that, I think, is his greatest appeal, is that he is like one of us. He's not beyond something, beyond the untouchable kind of thing that cannot be reached. He's one amongst us with the same feelings.
प्रसाद मतलब कृपा, महाप्रसाद मतलब अति कृपा, माने सबसे ज्यादा कृपा। भगवान का जो चावल प्रसाद, देखिए हम घर में भी हम प्रसाद माने चावल बनाते हैं, लेकिन आप लोग अगर आंख में पट्टी डाल दिया जाएगा घर का चावल और मंदिर का चावल रखा दिया जाएगा तो आप बोल देंगे ये मंदिर का है घर का नहीं है। उसका जो खुशबू, उसका खुशबू से पता चल जाता है कि ये जगन्नाथ का अर्पित है। इसमें कुछ नहीं है, सिर्फ बल चावल है और कुछ नहीं है। इसमें प्रमाण करता है कि भगवान यहाँ पे पूरा जीवंत है। जगन्नाथ मंदिर में करीबन 120-25 मंदिर है, लेकिन किस भी मंदिर में भोग नहीं होता है, सिर्फ जगन्नाथ मंदिर में भोग होता है। जैसे भोग कंप्लीट होता है तो सब भगवान को उनके पास आने के लिए निमंत्रण भेजा जाता है। एक ही जगह पे सब भगवान एक साथ बैठते ही खाना खाएंगे, भगवान अकेला नहीं खाते हैं। और जब बाहर भी जाते हैं अकेला नहीं जाते हैं, तो अपना बंधु बांधव सब उनका सब लेके ही घूमने के लिए जाते हैं। रथ यात्रा उनका जो यात्रा है सबसे बड़ा यात्रा है, इसको घोष यात्रा बोलते हैं, भक्तों का यात्रा बोलते हैं। उसमें से वो अपना बीबी को लेके नहीं जाते हैं, क्योंकि बीबी को लेके जाने से भक्तों को मिल नहीं पाएंगे। भक्तों का इच्छा था कि प्रभु आप जब हम मंदिर में जाते हैं तो हम देखते हैं आप आपके पास भाई है, बहन है, आपका बीबी है और इतना भक्त है, इसमें से हम आपको अपना जो कृपाण से आप नहीं बोल सकते हैं, आप हमको थोड़ा अकेला मिलने के लिए अवसर दीजिए। तो इसलिए भगवान ने कृपा की। जब रथ यात्रा होता है भगवान रथ में अकेला ही बैठे, उसके पास अपना भाई बहन बीबी कोई नहीं होता, साथ में बीबी को भी नहीं लेते हैं, बीबी को लेने से भक्त से नहीं मिल पाएंगे। इसलिए वो पतितपावन यात्रा बोला जाता है। भक्त उस समय उनको अपना जो भी मर्जी है वो अकेला पामे उनको बोलते। पहले तो सब रथ के ऊपर चढ़ के भी भगवान का आलिंगन करते थे, करके उनका कान में बोलते थे। भगवान जैसे शादी किए हैं, शादी के बाद जो बीबी को छोड़ के चली जाते हैं अपना भाई बहन के लेके, तो यहाँ पे महालक्ष्मी माने उनके ऊपर रुष्ट होते हैं। तो भगवान उनको मनाने के लिए उनके लिए बाहर से रसगुल्ला ले, जैसे हम बाहर से आते हैं कि तो अपना बीबी बच्चे के लिए लेके आते हैं, जैसे भगवान को रसगुल्ला लेके आते हैं। मंदिर के अंदर बाहर का कोई भी चीज अलाउड नहीं है, लेकिन उसी दिन जब भगवान मंदिर के अंदर आते हैं उसी दिन बाहर का रसगुल्ला भोग मंदिर में आता है और महालक्ष्मी और जगन्नाथ जी को भोग चढ़ता है।
जगन्नाथ प्रकृत आर्य अरिजिन नुहति, से होचंदी सबल अरिजिन। यदि यहाँ कहले कारण सबल मान भीतर जाति भेद नथिला, सबल मान परवर्ती समय राष्ट्र देवतार परिणत करना, बुद्धिस्ट मान राष्ट्र देवतार परिणत कर राष्ट्र देवतार परिणत कला राजा सोमवंशी जगत से उद्धार कर आनी।
किंतु अल्टीमेटली से हेले कली करुष हरम त्वां देव पातु कली करुष हरम नीलशिलाधिनाथ। So he came down, he descended to clean the scene of the Kali Yuga. So cleaning the scene of the Kali Yuga, you can find a very close similarity with Christianity, because Jesus Christ descended to clean the scene of the mankind.
बहुत से अंग्रेज मेरे पास आए, उन्होंने पूछा कि भारत वर्ष में 10 वर्षों तक ईसा मसीह जी रहे, पुरी में लगभग 3 वर्षों तक रहे, तो कहाँ रहे? मेरी जानकारी में पुरी में कहाँ रहे यह इतिहास तो विलुप्त हो चुका है, लेकिन वो जो पाश्चात्य देश में ईसा मसीह की अपने शिष्यों के सहित मूर्ति बनी हुई है, उसमें वैष्णव तिलक उनके लगे हुए हैं।
See, it's a popular pilgrim spot in the east of India. If you go to the eastern side of India, if you look at India as a diamond-shaped subcontinent, the eastern side is marked by only one shrine, which is the Puri shrine. And this is a rich, affluent agrarian belt. So everything about that area actually attracts a lot of attention. It has been also the most successful temple the size of the temples, the presence of the Devadasi, the Maharis, whose tradition is completely wiped out now. But there would have been 1,000 dancing girls, singing girls over there. So it was a place, look at the temple, but each shrine is called a Bhoga Mandapa, place where food is offered, or Natya Mandapa, where dance and performances were being held. So this was obviously a place of high culture, affluent, and therefore every pilgrim, a person who traveled across India as a pilgrim would come here. And they would have some encounter. So you have Nanak, Kabir, everybody encountering. And in India, the idea, everything which is sacred, everybody goes to a sacred place if it is open. And a sacred place is usually welcomes people within. So people have all been welcome, whether it's whoever came with faith because it was Bhakti movement, were allowed to enter. The only barrier was created by the Brahmins because their power comes from exclusion, from the notions of purity. But they form about 5% of the Indian population, less than 5% of the population. So the rest of the country has its whole belief system, and there is which is perhaps anchored by Brahminism at one level, but the Bhakti Parampara, which is far more popular, draws people from all traditions. So you have, Guru Nanak, you have Bhakti Sarabega, all the Muslim poets who have come here. Kabir has spoken about it. So I don't think they saw themselves as Muslims and distinct from Hindus. These are modern political divisions. In those days, they were just holy places. And holy places, people who followed idol worship were considered Hindus. Those who did not consider idol worship were considered Muslims. And suddenly this new Bhakti movement talks about Nirgun who saw themselves as Hindus but did not like the image of idols. So you've got these very amorphous structures emerging. I think we want to frame it and lock it in neat little boxes, which they don't.
गुरु नानक देव जी यहाँ आ गए, तो जब वो अपनी आरती करने लगे तो जितने भी आरतियों के थाल थे इनके, वो सारे उड़ के जब गुरु नानक देव जी बैठे हुए थे ना वहां आ गए और उनके परिक्रमा करने लगे। तो ये लोग बताते हैं कि जो राजा और जितने भी यहाँ के पंडित थे वो थाल के पीछे पीछे गए, ये थाल कहाँ जा रही है। तो जब उन्होंने देखा कि ये तो गुरु नानक देव जी जिनको हमने मंदिर में नहीं वहां आने दिया, तो उनके पास गए। तो इन्होंने सबने माफी मांगी और सबने, और फिर गुरु नानक देव जी जब ऐसे किया करते हैं तो उनके हाथ में जगन्नाथ जी की फोटो थी, तीनों की सुभद्रा ये सब थे ना, उनके हाथों में उनकी फोटो।
विश्वास कर यीशु को कहा हम लोगों को रात्रि सामना ତାଙ୍କ କଥା କହିଲେ ସେ ତମ ପାଖକୁ ପଳେଇ ସେ ତଳକୁ ଦେଖିଲେ ସେ ଉପରକୁ ଦେଖିଲେ ସେ କାନ୍ଥକୁ ଦେଖିଲେ ସେ ବାହାରକୁ ଦେଖିଲେ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଆଉ କୁଆଡେ ଯାଉନି ଚୁପଚାପ ରହିବ।
How do you relate to the divine? Normally the word bhakti is translated as devotion, but that has a feudal element to it, and that's a modern translation preferred by European scholars and sort of adopted by Indologists. But it really means affection. It means affection between, there is no hierarchy between the lover and the beloved. And one really doesn't know who is the lover and who is the beloved. And therefore the deity becomes a person with whom you have an intimate relationship. An intimate relationship of a brother, of a lover, of a friend, of a parent, simultaneously, all rolled into one.
But what is the central feature of Jagannath consciousness or the Jagannath faith? That you can reach the supreme divinity, which may appear as distant and unrealizable. You can reach him easily, and the key to that is complete and total simple surrender. Once you do that, instead of you are making any effort, he comes close to you. He runs after you. And this has been beautifully expressed by Salavik through a very beautiful metaphor. Just as the calf runs after the mother cow, so does Jagannath after his devotees. So he hankers after them. And this is where most symbolically and most colorfully, most spectacularly displayed in the Ratha Yatra. When he comes out from his elevated
temple and his visual platform, the Ratna Singhasan, down the 22 steps onto the Vararando, and then climbs on the chariot so that he is visible to everyone. And one and all, the lowly, the high and mighty, the poor, the fallen, the sick, everyone has equal opportunity to behold their beloved Lord to the heart's content, nay, to the soul's content, if I may put it that way.
ভকত জীবন একাত ভকত জীবন ভগত দুর্মন্তে তোরা শঙ্খ চক্র চিহ্ন চক্র চিহ্ন একাত ভকত জীবন ভগত তো মাতা পিতা ভগত তো বন্ধু ভগত তো মাতা পিতা ভগত তো বন্ধু ভগত হিমরে তোরা নাম কৃপা সিন্ধু নাম কৃপা সিন্ধু
Bagsal Beg was the son of a warrior in the army of Aurangzeb who had married Salbeg's mother by almost force. Now, once what happened was that Bagsal Beg fell seriously ill. So his mother started nursing him, taking the name of Lord Jagannath. When Bagsal Beg recovered, he was of course Salbeg then, and Salbeg recovered, he wanted to go and pay obeisance to the Lord, but he was not allowed inside the temple. After a few years, again he tried and he fell ill on the way. So he prayed to the Lord that, please Lord, wait for me till I come and pay my obeisance to you.
নন্দী ঘোষ জীবরহি জগবন্ধু হে গোসাই জগবন্ধু হে গোসাই জগবন্ধু হে গোসাই
So the Rath of Lord Jagannath waited for Bagsal Beg till he reached and offered his prayers. And this tradition continues till this date. The chariot of the Lord waits at a particular spot for Bagsal Beg, and Bagsal Beg's bhajans are an intrinsic part of the devotional celebration or the devotion of Lord Jagannath.
সে ভক্তির আগ্রহ আছে তোমার মনে ভক্তি আসলে তোমার ভাবনা আসলে ভাবনা আসলে আজকে বিপদ থাকে যেତେବେଳେ বিপদ হয় ସେତିକି ବେଳେ ଭଗବାନ କର୍ମନିଧି ଗୋଟାପନ ଆଗ୍ରହ ଠାକୁର କାରଣ ସିଏ ମାର୍ଗ ବୋଲି ତମ ଆଗକୁ ଦୂର କରିବ ଆଉ ବିଭ କରିବା ମାନେ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କ ତ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ଗୋଟାକୁ ଉପାୟ ବୋଲି ତମେ ଜାଣି ସେ ଏତେ ନିଷ୍ଠୁର ନୁହେଁ ତାଙ୍କର ହୃଦୟରେ ବହୁତ ଚଳକ ତମର ବ୍ୟାକୁଳତା ଆସିଲେ ତାଙ୍କ ଆଖିରେ ଲୁହ ପଡେ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସେ ତମକୁ ଆଲିଙ୍ଗନ
महम भो भूर समपरिपूर शिखर दसन प्रासादांत सहज बल भद्रेण बलीना भद्रा मध्यस्थ सकल सूर सेवा पतरदो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भगती
And that is why people from far and wide come running. Dark, behold this beautiful dark visage with his round eyes. And it is so much so that Sri Chaitanya was a great devotee of
Sri Jagannath. Did not go beyond the Garuda because he thought that he realized that if he goes closer, he would overcome with emotions and he would faint. What is described by his devotees later as Mahabharata. He reaches that stage of supreme ecstasy by just having a vision of the Lord. This is what Adi Shankaracharya said, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. That means, come before my eyes. Let me behold your beauteous countenance. And this has been celebrated in hymns, not in thousands, but perhaps in hundreds of thousands hymns which have been written by saint poets and devotees.
In our life, there is a dialogue between material and spiritual world. So when people live in the material world, at the same time we have spiritual reality within us, whatever may be the degree. And if you find some devoted persons or people inclined much towards spirituality, they make a dialogue between this world and that. So the representative of this world is me, myself, as a devotee, as a man. Okay. And the ultimate representative of that world, transcendental world, is God, or Brahma, or Allah, or whatever term you can use. Okay. So me, as a microcosmic creation, and he as the ultimate creator. So there is a dialogue between the two. So the dialogue between the two is interpreted or manifest in different means, different symbols and different metaphors in different cultures, different religions. You find it in Christianity, in Buddhism, in Islam, and even in Sanatana.
The Rath Yatra has been going on in India, so why not in America as well? And so the first Rath Yatra in San Francisco, 1967, thousands of people came. There was lots of advertisement ahead of time, but people were really curious. What is this? We've never seen this before. And with the kirtan and with pulling the carts and seeing the smiling face of Lord Jagannath, everyone became so happy. And some people were getting interviewed by the newspaper, and they were saying, yes, today I woke up and I was in such a grumpy mood, and And I wasn't feeling, then I went to the Rath Yatra and my whole being was just filled with happiness and feeling of, okay, it's going to be all right. And this is what Jagannath does for people. And Prabhupada wanted the people of the world to have some hope, to have some feeling of, yes, God, there is a God. He may not be your God, Jagannath may not be your God, but in Jagannath, we can see all the other gods as well. If one has a big enough consciousness and a big enough heart, we see that God exists everywhere, within all living beings and within all cultures. And because Jagannath makes one happy, God makes one happy, this is one of the main reasons that Srila Prabhupada established the Rath Yatras all over the world.
Lord Krishna in Sanskrit is Satchidananda Vigraha. His body is made full of knowledge, bliss, and anand, and eternality. So the nature of the soul is actually to be happy. And that happiness is derived from connecting to the Supreme Lord. So that's where everybody's looking for happiness. And it's not to be found in the pubs, it's not in drugs, it's not in all kinds of sensual actions that portray to the senses, from the sense objects. But that happiness is coming from within. And the Lord is situated in everybody's heart. So that real happiness is when you connect to the Supreme. And that's what we're trying to do in this world, where everything is divided, nations are divided, but the unifying principle is the Supreme Lord and situated in everybody's heart. It goes beyond religion to Sanatan Dharma.
You see, Hindu Dharma, Sanatan philosophy, it permits the flexibility. In Gita, it is written that Je Jithamam Prapadyante Tam Tathaiva Bhajamya. Whoever wants me in whatever form, so I appear him into that way. So Lord Jagannath, from this point of view, Lord Jagannath is also a deity who fulfills the desire of his devotees in any form it is. Suppose you see Buddhists go down on Buddha Shakshat. It is who are Buddhists, they consider Lord Jagannath as Buddha. To Jains, he is Siddhanta. To Vaishnava, he is Pashupati Parama. To Yogi, he is Hamsatattva. So when it is said, the monarch of the Blue Mountain fulfills the desire of everybody who wants him in his specific form or according to his specific necessity or demand or spiritual demand.
Jagannath is a symbol. It is Sanketika Chinna. So whatever you think, you will get it. Many people have said that this is the symbol of Akar and Nirakar, which is Brahman. In Vedas and Upanishads, they describe God as Sakar and Nirakar. So this figure is Sakara and symbol of Sakara and Nirakar.
If one takes a look at the three deities, now Lord Jagannath is black in color, Lord Balabhadra is white, and Devi Subhadra is yellow. Now suppose we just take a look at the various races. The Caucasians are white, the Mongolites are yellow, and the Africans are black. So the entire universe is in one single temple. I don't think this kind of an example you would find on planet Earth anywhere else. So what is the message we get? The message we get is of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. And what is the prasangikta or the contemporary relevance of this? When we have so much of wars and unrest and violence across the world, this concept would definitely drive home a point that ultimately world is one family and peace should be supreme. The second example I would like to give, again looking at the deities, is usually what happens. The Lord is with his consort, his companion, or his wife. Shiva, Parvati, Ram, Sita, Krishna, Radha. This possibly is the only temple where the Lord with his brother and sister. Now, can you have a better example of family values than this?
I guess the way Jagannath communicates with his Bhakta resonates with the modern day communication, which is uber democratic. It's two-way communication. Jagannath goes out of his way to connect with people like all gods. In fact, all lords of the universe should do. I mean, the lords should take extra initiative to connect with their subjects. That probably is the message that Jagannath wants to give to all the rulers down the ages. And second thing is the kind of subaltern sense that you get out of Jagannath. Jagannath is not there up in the pedestal, decked up in fineries, and nobody can really go near Jagannath. You can come thus far and no further. I mean, that kind of relation is not there with Jagannath. You can go up to him, you can embrace him, you can call him Jaga, you can call him Kalia, you can call him any names. In fact, people call him names at times. So that kind of relationship, that earthy relationship, that makes Jagannath unique, that makes Jagannath culture unique.
Any kind of country where the people have been oppressed, you might say, they've been denied access to their free worship of God. The Rath Yatra has brought so much joy to these places, and you'll see if you look on the YouTube, you can see Rath Yatra in Russia and Rath Yatra in Germany and Rath Yatra in New York, and you'll see so many colors. The ladies dress in so many colors, and everybody's just dancing and swaying, and people are walking along holding hands, and there's a feeling of togetherness. The Muslim, the Christian, the Hindu, the Hare Krishna, the Buddhist. It doesn't really matter what so-called religion you're from, because God is for everyone. And somehow or another, the Jagannath Rath Yatras and Jagannath himself makes one feel very connected to all people of all cultures, of all religions. Jai Jagannath!
Every institutional religion, I do not say dharma, every institutional religion within India has its own territory boundary, conceptual boundary. But whenever it comes to question of spirituality, it has no boundary. Jagannath consciousness has no boundary. He is Jagannath for me. He is Jagannath for you. He is Jagannath for the famous dancer Citaristi. He is Jagannath for Lal and Pradeep. He was Jagannath for Shala Vega. He is Jagannath for everyone. But the point is whether you believe in Jagannath or not, that is up to interpretation. But he is Jagannath. So we need such a force, such a spiritual impulse, which will cover everybody, which will include everybody into its fold. Jagannath includes everybody. There are many points of clash in this world. So how to come out from this sociological conflicts? And roughly, there is no sociological solution to these problems. Because we haven't seen that scholars or diplomats or politicians, they could solve the problem. So if you want to go beyond conflict, you need spirituality. And the embodiment of spirituality is nurture.
Hello. Thank you very much, Piyushji. I would like to request Anirban from KLF to come and present a bouquet on this particular film around the 6:15 in the same hall. So Piyushji, I would like to request you to come to the stage and accept our token of gesture. Thank you.
So tomorrow what time?
6:6. Yeah.
Tomorrow 6:15. Priyanka will be also joining and we'll have a discussion on this.
Thank you. Close kar dijiye.